listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Thursday, right? It's Thursday? Is it? It is July 13th, 2023. Yeah, we skipped a day or night. Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes shit happens. I don't want to get into it. But you could say, if it makes you happy, that I've slept through everything. You can say that. Doesn't mean it's true. But let's go with that. Maybe it is true. I don't want to admit it. Maybe I do. I don't know. We'll see how the show goes. But that's where you come in tonight. Last night I heard, because I wasn't here, that the chat room was full and exciting. Bring that tonight. Now you know what you want to talk about, right? I want to open this up to the public, but every time I do, I get repeats and the same stories. I don't want that. I mean, I'll listen to your stories, sure, when you are invited on specially. I love it when we do these panel shows and, hey, we're talking about the government tonight, and, you know, the passing the laws and everything and legislation. So what do you think about that, Von Helton? You know, in 1963, I captured an alien on video. All right, you know, speaking of which, that guy wanted to come on tonight, but he sent me a video, a UFO video, right? Tells me to look at it. So I do. It's a dot. I mean, way out there. And it blinks off when he says for it to blink off. So I say, it's a dot. I was very professional. I'm sorry. It's a dot. You know how I feel about dots. I told him, you know, or something like, I'm paraphrasing. And I said, and I don't really believe you were talking to that. That could be a light on the mountain or a street light. There are street lights, I said, that You can time them. They go on and off. I think they're called regulators. They regulate, like that certain bulb gets hot and it goes out. I don't know what it's for, but it's something to do with the ones around it. It regulates the electricity. That's why you see those streetlights go on and off. They're regulators. So you can time those things, is what I said. It may have been a little high, but this thing was way out there. So I was kind and I said, with that video and your claim, that could be anything. Oh boy. You thought I told him, hey, I have one of your kids held hostage and I'm going to start cutting pieces off if you don't show me good evidence. You would have thought I burned the 10 Commandments. This guy lost it. Start calling me names. So I told him. I said, and he goes, oh yeah, so they didn't talk to me. I said, turn off light, and it turned off. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh my God. So you just want me to bend over and believe you with the shittiest video and the shittiest story combined? So I was very nice and professional and friendly to a guy who has an extremely bad reputation, known as the most hated guy on YouTube and ufology or wherever. And yet I'm giving this guy a chance to prove everybody wrong. Proved everybody right. If he comes in the channel tonight, if you haven't already, moderators, he's got to go. I don't even want him here. So if you see that Von Helton, goodbye. All right. Now, tonight, I'm going to have you guys come on. I want you to speak your mind. Okay? But let's keep it topical. Seriously. Every time we do these things, it turns into like, Oh, and I'm only going to allow 5, maximum 4 people plus me, 5 total. I'm going to be a dick. Yeah. I don't think I am. I'll tell you why. I see other shows that have 8, 9, 10 people on. That sucks. You want to know why? Because you always got one clown who overtalks, who interrupts, who has to be heard. And you feel bad. You don't want to ban people. You don't want to kick them off. Then they get mad. But also you got other people that are waiting to speak and now they're mad. Some people don't get to speak. Some people only said one word. And, I've been on panels like that where, oh my God, they didn't even get to me. I wasted 2 hours of my life. I don't think that's fair. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Forgive me. I want everybody to be happy. That's it. Doesn't matter what I feel. Let's get the show started officially. Because we are going to talk about, I want to know what you guys think of everything. Again, you guys wanted this. This show's for you. Last night, but tonight. So don't let me down. No? All right. And you have to wear a shirt. You don't have to show your face, but you got to wear a shirt. And make sure your microphone and everything's working before you're on. I don't know. You know the drill. All things good. Throwing down a £2, 2 quid. Mucho gusto generoso support. So thank you very much for that. All things good. I appreciate that. I've changed. Yeah. That's the new. Oh, he's changed. Rich has changed since he's been getting soup. I've been getting him almost 3 years. Thank you very much. All things good. Mucho gusto generoso. Grazie. Shane Reed, everybody. 444. 4444. That's a super chat of love, right? Super dono. Shane, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for the super dono. Mad love. Right at you, brother. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the super chat, super stickers. We had a few yesterday, even though I wasn't here. Shane is a continuing supporter, as is All Things Good of Goofon. Let me pull up yesterday's. I got to do the congratulatories. So I wasn't even here. Believe me, I was angry. What happened? Believe me, I was very, very mad at myself. Thank you. Jeanette. That's right. The Angel of Goofon with $12.50 on PayPal yesterday. Thank you very much. And I appreciate that, Jeanette. That was sweet of you. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was. I could have sworn there was a few. And then Jeanette. That's weird. I thought there was more. What, am I imagining things? Oh, here it is. Dominic Montague. $12.50. We rounded up. On PayPal, thank you for this. Loving your work, peace, and love, Big Rich. Sorry I don't make it to many live shows. Always. Oh, you're all things good. How did I forget? I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Thank you. You did a double dose. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the sentiment along with that, because sometimes I feel like we're not being heard. People think I just want views and clicks. I don't. I want to be huge to have people understand what's going on more than 10, 13,000 subscribers. I want the world to know what the public thinks. Hence why we're doing tonight's show. And I already worked out so we can go as long as we have to tonight. Unless I want to double dip the workout, which I'm not I am in the mood. Thank you, all things good. Man, that was really nice. Oh, what's this? This just came in. Hungry Dragon. You have been unbelievably generous with $22 here and 22 cents on PayPal. I mean, seriously, thank you so much. The last couple of PayPalers have been ridiculously generous. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hungry Dragon. It's got my back. Thank you. Yeah, see, that means a lot. God, I love it when you guys do this. I do. Just tell me, tonight, it's going to be a good show. I could already feel it. I could feel it. Hey, Ben, the Yorkshire Euphonian. How you doing, brother? I think we missed you the other night. Last night. Where were you? Oh, that was me. 4-pounder. That's a nice round number. I like £4, £4. It's a super dono from my good friend, Ben, the Yorkshire Euphonian. That worked out nice. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Seriously do. You're a continuing supporter of Goofon. Thank you, everybody, for helping. The super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description. Excuse me. Tonight's show is brought to you by Ghost. Ghost, the sugar-free energy drink. Tonight's drink is Sour Patch Blue Raspberry. Maybe someday we'll get. Wouldn't that be great if they, $1,000 a month to advertise? That would be great. Wouldn't you buy Ghost from a paranormal? No, I don't either. I don't care what anybody drinks. All right. Thank you, Ben. Mucho gusto, generoso. What was I doing? All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for contributing to Goofon at Gush. Mucho gusto, generoso. You don't say, you don't say. So I'm going to grab the link for you kids. You ready? Ben, over here. You coming on? Yeah, I thought you were, you wise guy. Look forward. Oh, I thought I was bold for a minute. I'm like, My hair, yeah, it actually looks thicker than this. You can see it's starting to come in now, finally. Yeah. I had hair and makeup a little early today. Just, because yesterday, you don't know, but I'll talk about it someday. I fell asleep. Hey, before I drop the link in the chat, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on Theories of Everything today. I watched it. Interesting. This is so strange. What happened to me today with listening to this. First of all, kudos to Kurt J. Mungle for getting the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson on his show. However, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I've had a negative feeling with him the last few years. And today, I'm watching. I went to the UFO section that they were talking about for the last 35, 45 minutes. And I started getting a little angry listening to him speak. I know, go figure. So then I'm listening to the conversation go back and forth. And I decided that I don't dislike Neil deGrasse Tyson anymore. And I'll tell you why. He's me. But just the way he thinks and the way he explains things, I know you're going to say, me too. No. There's something similar. I mean, I'm not saying I'm smart like him. I'm just saying the way he explained things and his thought process and where he interrupted Kurt to ask him certain questions are things that I do that make people mad. And they're like, why are you nitpicking? Well, details matter. I don't know if I'll be able to show you this tonight, maybe tomorrow, because, I got to stop here and let you guys on. But Neil deGrasse Tyson isn't that much of an asshole after all. He explained very, very well why he hates whistleblower. You got to hear this. You got to hear this. And then I'm going to let you guys in. We're going to go longer than the 2 hours. Don't worry. We're going to have a good time. I hope. I don't know. If nobody comes on, it's just me again. No Von Helton. If you see him, ban him. Ban him. I don't even want to hear it. I snoozed or muted his emails because he emailed me, with the video, and just, I don't have time for that. It's nonsense. What was I doing? What was I just doing? Oh, getting the video from Theories of Everything. All right, here it is. I thought he did a great job. Here we go. Kurt Jaimungal. I think that's how you say his name. I was saying Jamungal. I'm going to play several minutes of this. So, if you want to grab a drink or do something, get ready if you're thinking of coming on. I want to play this for a few minutes. Yeah, we're going to have people on. I'm letting the room build up. It takes about 20, 30 minutes. That's so. Well, I'll have people on here in about 15 minutes. We'll start bringing you guys in. I want to make sure everybody's here. Because everybody knows it takes me 15 minutes to get the show going. All right, I want you to listen to this. Neil deGrasse Tyson does an excellent job of explaining what I've been saying for decades. 2 decades. I can say that now. Here we go. Kurt Jaimungal, Theories of Everything. Toe.
Beyond which science cannot reach. I don't see evidence in the history of science sufficient enough for me to even make that claim today.
What's your opinion on the recent UFO whistleblower, David Grush? I'm sure you've heard some whispers or maybe you've watched it yourself.
Yeah, I'm not interested in testimonies.
Oh!
I mean, testimonies are the lowest form of evidence in science.
Oh! Oh! Do I love this guy or what? How do you not love this guy? I've been saying that forever. Witness testimony's the worst. It's the pits. Mine sucks. That's why I recorded all my shit when I was doing this. All right, I'll be quiet now. Shh, calm down.
I don't care what you said you saw. I care, but I'm not going to base an entire understanding of the universe based on what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't care who you are, what your rank is. It doesn't matter. Are you human? That's all I care about. You're human. I need something better than that. Like, bring an alien into the open square. How about that? We have 6 billion smartphones in the world.
How about that? Bring an alien on the show. How about that? How about that? Bring an alien out. How about that? Meet me out back with an alien. Freaking A, I love that. Go Neil.
Give me some video of people getting abducted onto a flying saucer.
6 billion
phones. That will go viral overnight. Cat videos go viral. You know that'll go viral. All right? I'm thinking if we're being invaded by aliens, we would not need congressional hearings to establish that fact.
That's what I've been saying.
Really? The aliens are coming and they're only going to restricted military airspace? Really? That how that's working? We have 1 million people.
See, this is where Kurt, I understand he's not a ufologist like us, but this is where Kurt needs to step in and say, oh, no. See, I was yelling at this point. I'm like, Kurt, you got to challenge what he's saying, because Neil deGrasse Tyson says a lot of good stuff, but he also says a lot of bad stuff. He's not a ufologist either, so he doesn't know the ins and outs of ufology. See, that's the difference between somebody who's in it and somebody who's near it. And he just doesn't know. See, that's where I need Kurt to jump in here, because Neil's wrong.
Airborne at any given moment with a window looking out into Earth's atmosphere. Have you ever seen the crisscrossing of our commercial air flights in the world in a 24-hour period? It seems to me if aliens are coming, we could crowdsource that. Oh, yeah. So I can't be impressed by testimonies.
God, I love
at
that.
all. They can be intriguing. There could be reason to investigate further.
Exactly.
Okay, fine. There's something we don't understand. They're lights.
You're for investigating further.
There's a percent of a budget that I would say put this tiny amount in this subject, which might pay off great returns afterwards. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't have a problem when if the Pentagon has a budget to study.
We get it. Now this last part I want to play.
Whistleblower testimony of what someone says they saw. I don't count that as science.
Oh,
not science enough to redirect my career to investigate it as aliens. Let somebody else investigate it for what it is. Is it a threat to us? Is it not? Is it a glitch in the detector? Is it anything else? By all means, check it out.
So the proposition isn't, Neil, please, you must change your career now, given this. The proposition also isn't that testimony is the same as science. The proposition is that there is no smoking gun. And the smoking gun type of evidence isn't the only type of evidence.
It is if you're...
Oh, this is very important. Kurt Mungle just said something. I got to rewind it. He goes,
given this, the proposition also isn't that testimony is the same as science. The proposition is that there is no smoking gun. And the smoking gun type of evidence isn't the only type of evidence.
It is if you're making an extraordinary claim.
Yeah, that's right. If you're making an extraordinary claim, like life is here from another existence or the afterlife, you can't just go, we got 30, 40 whistleblowers. What great stories. Anybody get a picture? Video? Drawing? We got some memory, though. We got good memory off these people. God. But I know he's arrogant. But I did like almost everything he said today. I didn't agree with everything. But I really enjoyed the way he breaks down why, and you have to watch it because I'm just cutting through. But it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
If you're making, the sun, I saw the sun rise this morning. I don't need that much evidence from you to agree with your statement.
Right.
Okay. I really don't, because I would expect that to be true based on everything I know of the natural world. So there are many cases where smoking gun is not important. We infer the existence of exoplanets without ever having seen one. All right. Of the 5,000 exoplanets, 4,500 of them are inferred by the movement of the host star. No, half maybe. I don't know the latest numbers. There's a mixture of how we discover them. At least half are discovered by their gravitational effect on the host star. And we deduce the mass, the period, the thing, without ever even seeing them. All right? Because we're not making a claim of something that's defying laws of physics or what we think might show up a dozen other ways. So smoking guns do matter depending on what kind of claim you're making. They do.
Right.
Okay, so let's say you encountered something that was extraordinary.
Sure.
What do you do?
I will try to get extraordinary evidence in support of it. Yes.
Right.
That's instantly. That's what I would do. If I saw aliens walking, I'd pull out my smartphone. I'd find a video. I would try to steal something off their hip. So I'd have an artifact. I would, oh my gosh, I'd yell to other people, get images of the same thing.
Okay, so now we all know why that's super silly what he's saying, right? To the outsider, that's logical. Why don't you grab something off the aliens? Why don't you take a picture? Because everything happens when you least expect it. Even if you're a UFO hunter, you're outside doing it. You may not have time to set up to get that shot. Even if your camera's on, right? It's like nobody like in the old days, even now, you don't really see a plane crash happen in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's if a tree falls in the forest, did it make a noise type of deal? Well, yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think it's fun. This whole thing is fun. And Neil deGrasse doesn't understand. He's not in it like we are, that sometimes for whatever reason, people are paralyzed. I know he would probably interrupt and say, oh, that's because of sleep paralysis. Some people are paralyzed with fear, if you let me finish, Neil. And they can't move. They can't react. Now, that wouldn't happen to a guy like me. But it happens. Just like the Mothman. People couldn't capture it. Oh, that was in, what was that? Was that the 70s? Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I don't know. I was just thinking of a Mothman coming out of the sky, and landing on the hood of a car. You should get a picture of it. All right, a few more minutes here, and I got the link ready. I'm gonna drop it in 5 minutes. So, and the reason I'm playing this because I want you to see where we're gonna go tonight, what we're gonna talk about.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't just say, this is interesting. Now let me go to Congress and tell everyone that I had an encounter with aliens. No, I wouldn't expect any of my colleagues to believe me, even if it were true. I would be seeking the kind of evidence that extraordinary claims require. And that's extraordinary evidence.
We don't have any.
Let's say you saw some orb, and perhaps even you saw an alien. Perhaps even it abducted you. It didn't let you take out, it didn't even occur to you. Because by the way, this is a common experience with anyone. It's not just related to aliens. Firstly, it's difficult to get a photo of anything that's in the sky with your cell phone when you don't know where it is. I was walking in the woods with my family, and there was a porcupine up in the tree. And then my brother
I didn't know
said,
they climb trees. They climb trees? Oh, that's dangerous.
And we said, whoa, wow, whoa, oh my gosh. Firstly, we're just startled. And so our system too, I don't like that phrase.
But I don't think porcupines climb trees. But go on.
Okay, anyway, there was a porcupine in the tree. And it didn't occur to any of us to take out our phones. And further, like 5 seconds later or 10 seconds later, it's just gone. And that's a porcupine. Like, try finding a non-professional photographer's photo of a porcupine online. I did a search for that. Same with lemurs. And there are many lemurs and porcupines. I think there's 20,000 times more lemurs and porcupines, maybe 100,000 times, then there would be these anomalous objects, whatever they are.
So it's hard. Yeah, the science is hard.
Secondly, even when there are images,
Whatever it is, it's easier than detecting the gravitational wave from colliding black holes.
and thirdly, there does exist, while there doesn't exist great photos, and by the way, that's contested.
All right,
because
I'm
the
dropping
government
the
seems
link.
to have some photos that they won't release, which is why
That's called a conspiracy theory, doesn't it? That's what that sounds like, but go on.
they come from FOIA requests. Like, you can ask the government, what do you have? And then they can tell you the reason why they're not going to give it to you. Like, this is classified. This violates
Okay.
this law.
Of course, it's going to have classified. What are you getting at here with this conversation?
Neil, this can get to such traumatic events that people go through. Like, they get, you can imagine, I'm not even going to say it because it's on YouTube and maybe it'll get censored. They have no evidence, and someone could just say, why didn't you record? Weren't you in the right state of mind?
Right.
And then let's imagine they have people testifying for them. People. Then we say, hey, it's increscent evidence. So it's evidence that increases your credence by a bit.
Yeah. No, it's not about it's not a matter of credence. It's eyewitness testimony gathered that's consistent, says this is excellent. Now we need to bring the methods and tools of science to investigate this.
Yes, I agree. I
Okay.
agree. So that's
Which
what
would include pulling your damn smartphone out and not being shocked at the porcupine in the tree, which might not have even been a porcupine because I didn't know porcupine.
All right. I mean, that is that could get actually we'll stop it there. I don't know what I was going to say. I think I was going to say that's where the conversation gets good again. Neil deGrasse is he is arrogant, I have to admit, but sometimes smart people think they hover over the rest of us. And you know why? Because imagine this guy, every time he talks to somebody, he knows he's smarter than them. Not in everything, but in his mind, right? That could do something to the ego. I know. I'm living it right now. I think I'm floating. Nah, that's just because I can't feel the floor. Paula Faust throwing down $2 super sticker. We've got people coming in. I got a couple people waiting to come on the show, so thank you for joining in. I'll bring you on in a minute. Paula Faust with the $2 super sticker, a continuing supporter of Goof On. Hey, mucho gusto generoso, eh? Grazie. Mystic! Thank you for that $3, what is that, Iranian money? Well, whatever. I like it. It's $3.33 a dono. It's a super dono. It's pure love. Mystic, how you been? Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Good to see you, too. Mucho gusto, Generoso. Speaking of Generoso, the angel of Goof On. Jeanette Angel, everybody. Welcome to the show, Jeanette. With your, I mentioned your PayPals. And now you're more than generous with your beautiful super sticker, £5, £5. Thank you, Jeanette. I appreciate that. You are the angel of Goof On. Everybody knows it. And your family, so you can't leave either. Come on, where is everybody? You want to come in? I'll take the first 5. I've only got 2 people. Well, there was 4. 2 dropped out. I don't know what happened. So I'm down to 2. I'm going to bring them on, uno at a time. First person we've got here, Wilka. What do you say, Will?
Not much, Rich. How's it going, eh?
Hey, man. Doing well. How are you? You look great.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm enjoying the nice weather. It's a little chilly tonight, but yeah, it's been really nice to us. So the forest fires have been calming down. The smells are nice.
Where are you at
smell
again?
like a campfire, you know.
Where are you at?
So the air quality control is a lot better now, but it was something was happening.
Where are you at? Where are you at? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I can. My mic was down for you. So I'm in the Kawartha Lakes. I'm like eastern part of Ontario. I'm close to Lake Ontario and stuff like that.
Oh, right on. Okay.
I
didn't know exactly where you were. That's why. So
yeah.
You're avoiding the heat wave that's blistering the country here.
That's right. It's cool here. And my town is a weird town because a lot of stuff goes around us. not so much over
Oh, yeah.
us. Yeah, it's just a weird town, and I've been trying to get people around here to come visit that have machines and stuff like that, because I think something's going on, but that's just another time, another day, right?
You know, yeah, where you live, that's where the Arctic blast curves around and all that, right? You're right up where that loop would be in the empty zone.
It's right on. We're right on point. And so there's a gentleman, a very intelligent gentleman by Sir Sanford Fleming. He created a bunch of colleges here in Ontario, and one of the colleges here is called the Frost Campus. And he built a windmill when he built the college, and that windmill is constantly going, and it powers the whole college because he built it right in the windmill.
That's incredible,
right?
I love that. Yeah, that's so cool. How long has that been going on?
The college, that's, well, man, a long time.
Like 50 years?
100? At least.
Oh, okay.
At least, like the
that's ingenious right there.
Right? So Sanford Fleming, you could always Google him, right?
All right. I think I've heard it, just over life. All right, let's bring our next contestant on to goof on. Who's this guy? William.
Will.
What's up?
Well, I'm Will.
How you doing?
We have a Will, so yeah.
How you doing, William?
All right, I'm okay.
Are you a regular here? Because I'm not. No. I have so many Williams.
No, this is my first time.
And oh, okay. Well, thank you.
To be honest, I did kind of get the Von Helton trolling thing. That's how you're on my radar.
Oh no.
I'm not here for that reason, but that is
on
the radar.
It's all right, brother.
Yeah. Also, I do kind of want to. I am a little skeptical of UFOs or aliens being on here, so I did want to be open with that. But I did want to. So, if y'all want to have that discussion with somebody who was,
we will, and I'll bring on our next person who's Ice Cream Shots. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Richie? I'm having a bad hair day, so we're going without the cam,
Brother, I'm grateful for the voice. Thank you for hanging out with us here and making yourself available. What have you been up to? Anything interesting?
No, just hanging in. I have some side projects that are going on in life, but nothing as far as super interesting, I would say.
Have you been keeping up with ufology at least?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
More than I have recently. Obviously since the Grush stuff came out, keeping up with that past that. But yeah, the Burst Chat, he's been all over the place. How about him? He can't stay off the media.
Yeah, that he's his own troll, I think. He's amazing. Yeah, and I'm a little bit, I don't know, skeptical of his gusto. I think for me, I feel like he's faking his excitement.
Well, he seems like he's interested in the topic. He's big into Bigfoot and everything he said. So I know think he's there.
He's curious.
He is, but I think he's getting a lot of thumbs up from a lot of people and the politicians like that. So any good attention he's getting is probably something he's going to want.
Let's take it and run with it, write it out, because we don't have that many people like him. We need him. Will Carr, where are you going? Go ahead, Ice Cream Shots. I was just going to ask you something. Go ahead, Ice Cream.
No, I was going to say, no, I think Rubio is more on our team than do you think?
No. I just think he has a different role, and I believe Burchett is on our side, of course, but he's not as big as a gullible believer, I think. I think he's just like all of us. He's ready to see something. He's heard enough.
Okay, so that's what you're saying, yeah.
So I wanted to start with Will Carr because he was here first, and thank you guys for chiming in. We're still accepting people to come on the show. But, Will, I know I see you here just about every night. So if you were to pick something to change in the way things have been done, what would you change the way the government's doing this? I'm just curious. Public speaks.
Like, how would they do it? I guess you would start by taking out the theories or the conspiracies. Eliminate those first. So if we were saying, you had Area 51, whatever, let us know. We don't need to see crafts at this time. We don't need to see aliens, but we're not going crazy. So let us know if there's actually an Area 51. Great. Next step.
Do you mean Area 51 that's harboring aliens?
No, well, it could be harboring aliens or these secret bases or whatever.
It's
Wherever
really there.
Well, I'm just saying. So this conspiracies and all these theories need to be confirmed with us before we see crafts or aliens.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the way they should have approached it. And
isn't that what the whistleblowers do, though?
No, not really.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson, like he says, it's not physical evidence.
No, it's the worst.
Right? And hearsay is the worst. So, or third party, right? So anyway,
Right.
So the government needs to go, yeah, and here's the footage. This is where we're located, and just come out with that. And then further into it, what are they doing there? Now they might have to sift through some things so they're not leaking personal information for like military defense or anything like that, because they don't want, other countries knowing. But there is things happening there, so we want to know what. Right. And so this was before even the crafts and aliens and materials and whatever. That's how I think they should do it. Through the starting of it all, the crash up. Right.
Yeah. And, just remember, once you unlock Pandora's box, you can never close it.
No.
So once you have, let's say they start with Roswell, let's just say for hypothetical.
Sure.
So they go, okay, Roswell was an alien craft. So you lied about this, you lied about that. We want to know about, it would be amazing. Yeah, it would be awesome. But now I'm like pissed because that's it. We don't know. And would they tell us everything? But it would make me mad. But I understand that the government has to keep some things private, top secret. William.
Yes.
How do you feel about this? Knowing that Grush said there's bodies and there's craft and everything. Are you a big believer in this, that we actually are holding on to this stuff? Or do you think it's just more hearsay and it's just all flap?
I don't think we could be able to hold on to keeping aliens secret. And if by we you mean governments, no, even if, because here's my thing. You tell me there's sentient life capable of traveling planets. Big universe, I'll buy it. You say they're interested in this planet. Now it's a little, maybe life is that rare that maybe they're interested into it. A little bit harder to buy, but maybe. Now the government is keeping it a secret. Our government is keeping a civilization that can travel from another planet a secret. That's pretty hard.
But what if there was an agreement, a contract signed with the aliens in 55 with Eisenhower, whoever it was? Who was it? I can't remember. But if there was that treaty, it has expired. So I'm wondering if, because it expired a few years ago, are we now scrambling because the aliens are on the way and they're preparing us for that? It may be 2 to 5 years, but holy shit, what if they're trying to educate us before that? Well, maybe it's a false flag, real flag alien invasion. I'm just throwing it out there. I know it's crazy, but nobody knows what's true. So, Willie,
I just looked it up. I was looking it up. It was Eisenhower who was in 1950.
It was. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But another thing that kind of caught me, why would aliens need a treaty with us?
Well, it's a show of good faith. You want to have something to say, look, I know it's silly, right? That's a really good question. I never thought of that. But that's how we do here in the United States, right? We put everything on paper and we hold you accountable.
The other Will wants to chime in with something.
Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, man.
No, I just want to say, so why would they do this? And because if another alien race, this is my eyes, opinionated,
okay,
right?
Fair.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks for a minute. That's just you talk. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So to run the world, we know that we need the people's cooperation, and so you have to do whatever you have to do to keep these people in line, like to keep them believing in you and do your country, do the world work. Like you need to make materials, whatever. So with that said, where was I going with this? it would benefit the government to hush about it, because if the aliens need the world's materials, they don't really want to put their species, thinking like a human, to work on this planet. It'd be a lot of ships, a lot of time, when there's already established species that could do the work for us. So this is how they're going to do it. Keep hush in the back, build this federation thing, kind of thing, and just keep people quiet about it. And the only way you would know about it is going into the military yourself and being part of it. Just saying.
If you're chosen to be a part of it.
Right.
Hollywood.
By being the military, I imagine you mean have some stars on your chest. I don't think you just mean
right.
Well, yeah, whatever in general.
Just
but you know what I mean, though? Like, don't panic the public, because they're not going to do your bidding at this point. They're not going to harvest gold and do whatever you need done. That's what they.
You know, from what I've seen, it seems like the only time they're trying to get the public involved with these stories and whistleblowers is when they need funding, when they need a new something or another to for their black budget programs. I want to go to Hollywood. You're new here, and thank you for coming here as well. And I don't know, do you want to add to this part of it? Because I'm not familiar with you, so I welcome you to the show.
I was on, I don't know, maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I mentioned something about the free energy and all that. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I'm still kind of stuck on that. I'm kind of split on this whole deal. You know, the aliens, the UFO. At this point, I guess the public's just going to have to just take it as fact. You know, that they do exist. They are here, and there's nothing we can do about it. And they'll interact with us when and if they want to. But now get to the Tesla and stuff about his energy and stuff. They sold all them suitcases out of the hotel, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now that's something we could maybe get our hands on. If somebody dig through the patent office, wherever they got the stuff stashed at. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The treaty for me, Rich, it's such a tough sell for me. I don't understand. Why would they need it? I mean, if they can come take us whenever they want, do whatever they want. They're more advanced than us. We're ants to them. Why do they need a treaty? And even if they were going to make a treaty, like who would they talk to about that? Like, how would you pick the human you wanted to talk to the most so you could trust that would keep it silent? I don't know how they would do all that. There's so much logistic to that. It's crazy.
Well, that's I hear you. But if that's the case, then there may have been an ongoing conversation and before they got to that point. Sheila Aliens is here. Hi, welcome to the panel. How you doing?
I'm good. Hi, Rich and panel. How's everybody doing? Am I sounding good? No
echoing? Yeah, you sound really good. So you know, I know you're in this field with the rest of us. So what did you want to throw into this mix?
Well, what are you guys talking about today? You're talking about how there's no real proof of aliens. That clip you were showing from Neil deGrasse Tyson was basically something I do agree with. You're not a whistleblower if you're not showing proof. Right?
This is what we were talking about what's missing, what can be done differently perhaps to get disclosure out. You know, like if you've been watching the congressional hearings and all this stuff, would you change something in their procedure?
I would say they need to form a public place where everybody can report their UFO sightings, different than MUFON, because that's kind of sloppy. It's sloppy.
Because Arrow is just government.
Yeah, it's only government reports, and they need to make it so like they can investigate civilian reports as well, because those are just as, I mean, you can dismiss them easily. There's a lot of Starlink sightings and stuff, but there's also some that you need to go investigate. I don't know.
Well, they like military because there's, you know, several videos, radar, eyewitness accounts, credible people, etc.
Yeah, it's good to weed out because there's a lot of crap outside of the military. There's a lot of crap, so I see why they want to go with that. What can they do? I don't trust them to disclose anything. I think people themselves need to start investigating more with cameras and set up cameras that people can watch online. Like you could crowdsource the investigation of UFOs online if you have cameras set up and stuff. I don't know.
You mean, so if we did something like Avi Loeb is doing and put 100 cameras around the globe, you mean like just like watch camera towers? Because wasn't that guy selling those? You could buy them and then they watch the sky for you 24/7.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that, but they do have cameras like that. Guys that watch meteors, they own those cameras. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it.
Is it all sky cameras? Like a dome?
It's not really. No, the guy. It's about $1,200, and he put all the apps, the satellite apps, the airplane apps, so you could see what's in the sky.
Awesome. Yeah.
It has all that included, so it scans the sky, and it tells you how high it is, how fast it was, if it was a satellite, an airplane, or whatever.
That's cool. So if that leaves it, so if it was a satellite, you don't have to worry about it. It already knows, and it tells you. I think that's really brilliant. And if everybody had those instead of ring doorbells, or along with their ring doorbells, that'd be kind of cool.
It was in a way, it's a little flawed, and it failed as a project. But I like the thought. I like that he tried at least. I've got a few more people. We're doing pretty good on keeping things civil by not over talking. So I'm going to bring in Sacred Teachings and Ross. Ross, there you are. Wait, hold on. I took him out. So Sacred Teachings, welcome to Goof On. How you doing? Yellow Sacred Teachings. Ross? I know you're
can you
there.
hear me?
How you doing, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm on my phone, so sorry.
No, you sound great. Former
All right, thank you.
Army. What's a human?
Human intelligence.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to ask you, what brings you over tonight? What's on your mind?
Oh, not much. Just longtime fan.
Oh,
I
yeah?
get paid Friday, so I'll hit you up with some money.
Oh, well, I mean, that was odd. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Why would you say that? All my haters are like, see, he's all about money.
No, that's sweet.
I'm sorry. I got excited. I said I wasn't going to get like that. All right. So, Ross, you're watching what's going on with the whistleblowers and everything. Have you been involved?
I just watched that new movie. What was it? Accidental Truth?
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
It was really interesting. They talked about, because of the Freedom of Information Act, if the government does have, possession of this type of materials and things like that, they send it to these private industries because they're not subject to those Freedom of Information Acts, and the public doesn't have access to that type of stuff. So that's how they can control it. I thought that was really interesting.
So these new laws that somebody has a microphone open and a lot of background noise. Yeah, thank you for that. I saw it. Appreciate it. I forgot what I was saying. Damn it.
The new laws.
Oh yeah, thank you. The legislation and the new laws that they want to put in so whistleblowers can come out. And we talked about this the last time without being sued or losing their pension. And then we heard about, oh yeah, we're going to try to come up with this amnesty law that'll help those black budget projects tell us the secrets they're hiding from us. But nothing will happen. Just tell us what you have and we'll wipe our hands like it never happened. See, to me, that's like a legal threat without threatening people. It's like, sign here. And once you hand over all that stuff that you hid from us, now they're going to have eyes on them 24/7. People will watch everything they do. Why would a whistleblower or any company show what they have? Anybody want to add to that? Like if they're hiding something, secret technology from the government that they created, should they hand it over?
Well, a whistleblower is motivated by wanting to inform the public usually.
Yeah, because they see illegal activity within the government and they don't appreciate it.
And they usually are providing us documents or some type of somewhat proof or evidence anyway that's going on. But stories are just stories. That's not whistleblowing. It's not helpful.
No. Especially hearsay. William Carr, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that at this point, what you've said and what the government's doing about it is I think they want these, because they can't identify some of these objects, and it's not a good idea. And I say hold this stuff and hide it from the government because you don't really want it in the government's hands, especially if it's world-changing, if you design something world-changing. So you got to watch out for the government because they'll get their hands on it. All right. Who knows what they'll do with it? So to your answer, Rich, yeah, no, don't hand it over. They shouldn't. They need to hide.
But why would the government, if they have alien bodies and craft, you know?
So I was going to say, they only have these alien bodies, Rich, and they'll probably only have these crafts, Rich, because they probably went after these people that have already had it.
You think
So
civilians
they might be
handed it
building
over
a database. They might have a warehouse somewhere that's stuff that they've already infiltrated, and they're just still trying to find these underground facilities yet, and they're trying to find them all. And so this Arrow is now letting them, oh yeah, it's like, the false flag kind of thing. Oh yeah, just tell us. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, no, you won't get in trouble. Damn right they will. And they'll probably close them down, and who knows what they'll do.
Yeah, all
right?
of a sudden, yes.
Oh
shit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Bad luck.
Yeah.
Bad
Come
luck
tell
just happened.
us.
Yeah.
Well, we all know
right.
military people. We all have family members that are in the military, and if they report it, I'm sure we'll find out if they get demoted because of it or whatever.
Well, maybe not, but it's not reporting it. It's the company that so it's the Black Project company that they'll attack, not the whistleblower. And they might get a pat on the back of, hey, we'll promote you. We'll put you in a better office. Don't worry about what we're doing to the other people.
Right.
And then the government gets their hands on it.
Yeah, that always ruins everything. Yeah.
Well, so this is where I think this is what's happening in front of our eyes.
I mean, would it really ruin it though? I mean, do we really want private entities really controlling this kind of stuff? I mean, without any kind of oversight at all, though. Without that kind of sounds like a villain, man, out of a Marvel movie. I don't know about that. So, I mean, imagine if Tony Stark went rogue. That's a real problem, dude.
That's exactly what they're afraid of. Wilcar, what?
So, for instance, what Elon Musk is doing now, do you really want the government involved in on that?
Well, I think you have to have more than one head, though. I think you have to have more people with input. Not everybody in the government. See, for me, not everybody in the government is bad like that, though. And I don't think everything they get into is bad. I think that there can be some good things there. So I think that not all oversight is just destined for failure and takeover like that, though.
But you just told us live that you said you don't want just one head on it. If you give it to the government, that's exactly what's going to happen. And right now, you don't know about the Black projects and how they're running. My assumption is,
why would you think they'd have to give it to them, though? Why couldn't they partner?
Because that's the persona that they're sending out to get their hands on it.
That's trading.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be partners. That's why they got them to figure out what this shit is, to back engineer it.
Yeah.
But it may be something that is so dangerous that maybe they don't want anybody to have it, because what if you just drop it and it, I don't know. I don't know, but
that makes sense.
Yeah. For that to happen, for that to happen, it would have to be extremely dangerous, not a little bit. Because if you go by what Bob Lazar said, remember a couple of those scientists died, 3 of them, because of that thing exploded.
It would be illegal to handle materials like that, I would think, without government approval.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right. And well, they have the backing of the government. But if they created something out of the metals that they supposedly found and didn't tell the government, I don't know if it's a good thing, a bad thing. What if they want to go rogue and say, we're going to make Texas its own country now, try and mess with us?
Bingo.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a chaos person. I kind of like it when the people can have their hands and things, and
I do too. I mean, I get it.
Kind of cool.
It is. Yeah, it's Tony Starkish.
Yeah.
It is. I love it. Reminds me of Elon Musk in a way, what he's doing.
Yeah, you have to have the money like Tony Stark and Elon Musk a lot of times, but that's rare.
The materials, they could be not necessarily dangerous, but like super fragile. You have too many hands on it, they don't know. Boom, and now it's destroyed, and we no longer have it.
Now, what materials are we even talking about? I'm really kind of lost on that right out the gate.
I'm sorry, did you ask what we are talking about?
What materials?
Oh, whatever it is they claim they have. I don't know what they have. Nobody does anymore.
Like the Roswell crash.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever. Roswell, what else? There was a couple other. Well, apparently over 100. There's over 100 crash retrievals. Now, you know what's weird? And if you've listened to my show, you know what I'm about to say, and I want to know what you guys think. There was, over history, apparently over 127 craft that have either crashed or been found, right? So 12 years ago, the CIA goes over to, with the assistance of Greer, goes over to Gary Nolan, who created this technology that can analyze the brain. And his thing can do something that no other brain technology can detect. And they wanted him and his technology to check out these over 100 X-rays from pilots who got close to UFOs. Don't you think that's a coincidence that there's over 100 pilots with X-rays of their brains for Gary Nolan, and there's just over 100 UFOs that have crash landed? So it's not aliens. It's people. Did that make sense? No? I went a long way for that. Does anybody believe that, we have 100 crashed UFOs. We also have over 100 pilots' brains that were X-rayed that Gary Nolan had to investigate.
Where did you get this information about the 100 crashed UFOs?
Well, that's common knowledge. That's been said for years. Over 100, Gary Nolan said it, Elizondo said it, DeLong said it. Yeah, it's been known. I mean, it's written.
Common knowledge. Are you being sarcastic? Like, it's not actually common knowledge.
It is. Like, for my whole time in this field, I've known about that. Yeah.
Does that
20
make
years?
it true? I mean, because Gary Nolan said it?
Well, didn't Grush just say that there's over 100, or Grush and Greer's whistleblower said there's over 100?
He didn't show it. He said it, yeah.
Right. Nobody's showing anything, and I don't know if that'll ever happen. So is it treason what these whistleblowers are doing?
I would question if he's even a real whistleblower.
Oh, he's not.
I wouldn't say so.
I'm glad we agreed on that. Who's got the radio on in the back? Yeah, how can you be a real whistleblower if you're not first account seeing it? That's not real.
You can't be. Grush is not a whistleblower. None whatsoever. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Not as far as the term goes,
Yeah,
Will?
as far as the term, yeah.
Will Carr.
Grush could be a whistleblower. You know that, right?
I don't know.
Anyway, Grush could be a whistleblower. He could be. You don't know if he works at the NHL, and he could be a referee. Because those referees, they blow whistles for a living. Those are I'm legit though, right? The NHL, the referees whistle, right? That's how they communicate. He's a whistleblower, right? Can't just miss that.
For my podcast.
Right? I'm just saying.
Well, I'll tell you
That's
this
a good
though. Whenever they do these hearings, if they're going to supposed to be at the end of the month or whatever, I feel like the clock is kind of on them at this point. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't we know by the end of the year? Shouldn't we have Fravor and Elizondo and these guys all in front of Congress testifying? Shouldn't Grush be there talking? I feel like if they're not there by the end of the year, I don't really see where this is going at this point. It seems like it's just a runaround at that point if they're not there.
It's more nonsense. They like to feed us all nonsense about stuff for no reason.
I think Bob Lazar should be there, honestly.
There's no shot that guy would go there, man. There's no way.
He never produced any hard evidence either. He had compelling information.
It's a great story, but there's nothing to back any of it.
Exactly.
Not for me at least.
I agree.
I mean, I like John Lear a lot. He's fun. He's interesting to listen to. But I mean, I'm not sitting around believing everything he says. But you got to believe John Lear for half of the story, and it's like it's hard to really take that to the bank and take something like that in front of Congress.
Yep.
John Lear, the guy who said there's over 1 million people living on all the planets in our solar system.
He's funny, ain't he? God, he's entertaining as all get out. I love that guy.
He sounds legit when he talks, man. It's like that's like Richard Hoagland too. Remember him?
Yeah, Hoagland was entertaining. There's an interesting back and forth between him and Hoagland on an old Art Bell episode. That's incredibly interesting to listen to. It's so much fun.
I just thought of it. That's why I said it, because I remember that one specifically.
But the only thing I'll say is another reason why I think this is kind of coming to a head here is there's just so many people. There's so many whistleblowers, quote unquote. There's so many people that are coming out. And if you look at the time that Project Blue Book took, it took 17 years for that to start and end. And I think nowadays with the internet and how communication travels, you could probably cut that time in half. And in about 8.5 years, will be almost getting close to the end of this year. We're probably going to know whether or not this is going to end like Blue Book again, or if we're going to go ahead and move forward or not.
Yeah, I think in 2 years we'll know. That's my prediction.
It's a good prediction. Yeah,
they're both good because they both could be feasible if you explain it a certain way. Because in 2 years you have a new administration who won't approve the funding for the other black budget programs, yada yada. They all fall to the wayside till the next administration comes in, and they reboot it with new people, new Elizondo, new everything. But same stories, same bullshit, same lies. Mm-hmm. It's all it is. It's all for funding to give our military the funding, our secret black budget programs, everything they need. And if Greer is correct in what he said, Metalhead, I want your thoughts here in a second. If Greer is correct and we use Tic Tacs to smuggle drugs at 30,000 miles an hour out of Afghanistan, well, they could do it again. And if they're not still doing it, who knows? But Metalhead, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you guys, man?
Doing good, man. Thank you. What's on your mind? You want to add to that, or you have something new you want to start?
That was actually when I heard Greer talk about that, the smuggling thing.
Yeah,
it damn near made sense. However, you can't prove it.
He's like, what they want to use the technology, so how could they use it? He said, well, that was one way they could have fun with their toys, I guess, right?
Right.
You can't show it. You can't whip it, right?
Let me tell you, Rich, I live out here by Edwards Air Force Base, bro.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of footage, a lot of it's stuff you don't like, dots and infrared, but
it comes with
it comes with the territory when you're looking at Air Force bases, right?
There's good dots too, I know. Yeah.
I have some good stuff you'd probably be interested in.
Hey, I believe it.
I'll send it over if you want, whatever.
I'll be nice. I won't be mean.
No, it's all right. I've sent stuff in the past, and some of them were explainable,
Yeah, well, I'm always up for anybody's footage. Yeah, and if you guys want to send anything, send it to goofonradio@gmail.com. No dots if you can, please. Well, unless they do something magnificent.
Right.
What's that?
Anyways, I guess my point about all these, quote, whistleblowers and people trying to shed truth on the government, y'all, I think I said this before, it's all a huge distraction from everybody. No matter if you think about this topic or not, it's a distraction from the real truth. The problem is the real truth is very ugly, and that's why they're trying to hide it. I mean, it's horribly dark and ugly. And if the world knew about it, you, Rich, the rest of us, nobody would like it.
Was that human testing, aliens doing stuff to humans or something, or what?
I'm sure shit like that happens, man. But I don't believe they're aliens, but whatever. I think we're probably the aliens.
We are to somebody.
What about all the murders that took place to keep the secret?
Right.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. To me, those were probably true whistleblowers back in the day. But, we need to track these current ones and see what happens to them.
Right. I mean, we can't really forget Admiral Forrestal. I mean, that's an admiral that was deemed crazy, who was very competent and high ranking at the time of Roswell, and was killed, I think, a year after Roswell.
Well, that's like Admiral Byrd, but he didn't get killed. But
yeah,
that dude had a story, man, and I believe he was 100% credible.
Admiral Richard Byrd, saw the UFOs with German insignia on it.
Antarctica's that's a whole show in itself, man.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it. It's amazing. He was on TV talking about that.
Right.
TV interview, and a 45-minute interview in black and white, 1950 something.
Right.
Unreal. He's talking about seeing lush vegetation in Antarctica on TV.
Right.
Like that would never happen today.
One thing Admiral Forrestal, who was friends with Admiral Byrd, said back then is that we need to make sure that people know exactly the world needs to know the discoveries. He emphasized that, and he was killed. So I think there is something to it. But as you know, as far as the thing is, though, as we learn more, I kind of think things are bullshit. But the thing that makes me cling on to it and not make me think it's completely bullshit is all the sightings from the past, to where people reported sightings of things in the sky, and at that time we had no planes that could operate like that. We had no planes like during the time of when planes were very, very,
The 50s and 60s, yeah.
Yeah, they were
very technologically advanced. We had people claiming sightings of craft moving from point to point in seconds back in the 1800s. You know what I mean? So,
well, if you look back in history, they've been telling us that they've been painting on rocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see,
long time.
Something came down, did something to them, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I say we're the aliens. We probably took over their planet or something.
Kind of makes sense that there could be archaeological finds of these craft, because we always I was just watching a documentary today about the Sphinx, and they think that thing is over 10, maybe 15,000 years old, not 4,000 or 5,000. If that's the case, then holy crap. I mean, what kind of technology did they put away and store? They always put everything into little, like vaults and shit underground. They always did that. So I bet you there is something.
Well, even Bob Lazar said they were digging things up.
Yep.
And so
that's what bothers me. Where is Bob Lazar? He's one of the, according to ufology and what I've researched, he's the actual whistleblower. Why is he in hiding? Why are you hiding? Come out. We need you to come to Congress. We need you to get investigated. If you're saying what you're saying is true, we need you at Congress. We need your claims to be investigated, because you're an actual whistleblower. You claim to work on the material. You claim to be there. You claim to understand the elements that are needed to operate these crafts, and he's just somewhere in his room somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Can someone find Bob Lazar?
Maybe
I don't think it's relevant. Huh?
Maybe somebody threatened him.
Oh.
Or maybe he can't stand up to scrutiny when questioned about his scientific stuff.
He did say he didn't
Under oath, yeah.
any of this publicity. He
What was
seems
that?
like he didn't like the publicity. He seems kind of a a nerd, introvert kind of dude.
I agree. He seemed kind of plausible for that reason, because he didn't make money off of it, I guess. But
right,
yeah, that
might not be the goal.
I think there's evidence that he made money. I
okay.
mean, they sold models and stuff back in the day for him, for sure. I don't know how much of an introvert he is. I mean, he went on Rogan, biggest podcast in the world. Can't be too introverted to do that. I'm sure Congress is probably a little bit more anxiety ridden to do that, but I mean, I just don't think you'll see him, because he just really doesn't have anything to say.
He
So why now?
Podcasts. He should go on this podcast.
You should go everywhere. I know.
I'd love to talk to Bob. Where I live now, I was probably 10 minutes away from where his old place was here in Michigan. I wish I'd have known that he was there, his United Nuclear, because I would have drove by. But
oh my god,
yeah, but no, he's gone now. I guess he's somewhere out west now, right?
Who knows?
Not to bring up Bob and too much, but
Yeah, I think he's still in Nevada.
I mean, I feel like Bob is important. He could take us to S4. He could take us to these places where he claims that he's worked on these pieces of craft. What makes me think his story is legitimate is because there's an interview speaking to the scientist that used to work. He was a highly decorated scientist. He was like 90 at the time. And the interviewer asked him about Lazar, and he declined to answer the question. He said, "If you ask me about Bob Lazar again, I'm gonna end the interview." And this is a guy who is who's not really known. He's a scientist. He has an accent. He's like German, and he's worked for the military. And he declined to answer a question about Bob Lazar, and said that he would end the interview if you mentioned Bob Lazar's name again. And wow. I mean, I could find that interview if you want to.
I don't think we need Bob Lazar. Really, I think it's been done. The movies, documentaries, several interviews. What else is there?
We want to confirm it. I want to confirm it that he actually worked there.
Yeah,
I want to confirm it.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I know.
We don't need him. I think you're right. We don't need him. But I mean, if he did, let's say it all was true. I mean, if he was able to get up there and put his hand up there and talk, I mean, it would end everything. It would.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he is the silver bullet on it for sure. If he went up there and did it, but I just don't see it.
And he's just hiding. He's nowhere to be found. He's not at these meetings. He's not really talking much. He's not really putting himself out there. But it's like you made this claim, this huge claim, and you were the actual whistleblower who worked on these things. What else do you need? He was briefed on where they came from. He was told that that's where we got the whole Zeta Reticuli from, was from Bob Lazar. He was briefed on where they came from. I mean,
I forgot Bob Lazar had that whole like hookers thing that he was doing. That was so interesting. That's an interesting story.
Right.
He had the brothel or whatever.
Yeah, he did. It's legal though.
That would be why you don't want to make everything public, because you have like these shady dealings going on, maybe.
Bob Lazar is a recluse. I don't even know why they even accepted him into that. That's what's so weird about the guy. He's in the drugs, hookers, the whole nine. Whoa, he's crazy. Sheila, you got to take off?
I do, but thank you for having me on. I'm going to go watch Truth Seekers Sasquatch premiere.
Oh, that's cool. I don't blame you.
That's cool. Well, it's nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Guys. Bye.
Take care. All right. And then there were 4.5.
My wondering here is when the spotlight starts turning to all these guys and they start asking them, hey, come testify, how many people just don't turn up?
That's the other thing that's happening. They did some background checks on these whistleblowers they were going to get, and a couple of them failed. And they're looking for replacements for the whistleblowers. Apparently, there's more than a handful of whistleblowers that are going to be coming out. And that should be September or November, according to what Birch had said and everybody else in the next hearings. So, I don't need to keep hearing stories. Who gives a shit? Didn't Grush just tell us everything we need to know? Now, the next step is to get off story time and show us.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I wonder if they even have the goods. I mean, look at the videos.
Right.
Look at the videos Elizondo got out. Those 3 videos. That was the best he could get, and he was supposed to be the guy in there, and he couldn't get any better than that.
And they were all bullshit.
Yeah, they were only interesting because we hadn't seen anything. We were temporarily under amnesia, like shocked by it, but there was nothing.
Wonder if Geraldo's still around that can do Al Capone's Vault with Geraldo for UFO.
Hey, I remember that. I watched that shit. I was pissed. I remember that. Everybody watched it. That was so. Yeah, that's exactly what this is, and this is, I guess, why I am the way I am, because we get nothing out of all of this. Tell me, what did we get the last time Greer did his whistleblower event? What did we get since the last 2 or how many congressional hearings? Nothing. We've got this
renditions. Long time for nothing.
We just keep getting stories. I can't handle it. I just can't anymore. I don't get it.
The stories are getting pretty rough though, too, Rich. The guy, the real Southern accent guy, he's a real tough sell, man. He sounds like he's telling a story, man. It's rough for me.
Yeah, those are tough.
What about the guy who said he was working for the military program? It was in the recent whistleblower meeting. The guy who said he was with his wife driving down the road and he got paralyzed and the craft dropped down in front of him, and it was actually a military operation of ARVs. I was like, oh my goodness. And all Greer came with was these pictures. I'm thinking he's gonna bring evidence. He just bring a picture of an artist rendition of what happened. I don't want to see an artist rendition. I want to see pictures. I want to see proof. Greer has never done that. I'm still waiting for that.
Nobody has.
He's never done it.
That's the ticket. Nobody is. So, because once they do, you can't unravel it, That's why it's such a huge step to go from stories to evidence. Right. Once they go there, it is on. You cannot not stop it from being the beginning of disclosure at that point. Everybody's going to have question after question. Hey, my thing is, why can't they just show us a picture of a disc?
Right.
Like, what would the harm be? Nobody can tell what kind of propulsion they're using. Nobody can tell the technology on the inside. Why can't they show us just something to get us on board? Because I'm not on board with what's going on. I'm just reporting everything I see.
We're always going to want more. And everyone's just going to keep asking and asking and asking, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we want video. I just think that they think that that's just going to start a never ending.
Oh yeah,
like a domino effect of stuff that they just don't want to ask for.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's the Pandora's box. Once you open it, everything comes out.
100%. I still think it's religion is the thing that holds this thing up more than everything. I still think more than money, more than anything. It's just how do they? You mentioned earlier, Rich, at the start of the show, you said, why do you think, what do you think the government could do different? Yeah. I don't know why they haven't tapped into the religions to help push this out into their communities. Use them, use the Vatican to come out and talk about this. Why even would you even have Congress, who a lot of the world doesn't even care or respect probably what they say? Why not have these institutions push this out over time to smooth it over?
Anybody want to answer that? I don't want to.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I know. And I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought.
Rich, I was going to ask you, what do you think about, because I know you've been into the ufology for a long time, and, so have I. Started out when I was a kid, back in the early 2000s, watching History Channel, stuff like UFO Files, shows that were on back then, and it got me hooked. But I see something that's not being talked about anymore is abduction implants that are found in abductees. It's not really talked about anymore. I wonder, what do you think about that?
Wow, you are right.
Yeah.
Good job. I need to talk about that tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you one of the problems. There isn't another guy like John Lear, was it, who took those out of people. Mm-hmm. He was the only guy who was doing it. And when he died, everything stopped. And we were asking that question when he passed away. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the guy to take out the alien implants? Who's going to be admitting that they're looking for alien objects? Well, I would think maybe Avi Loeb can find a doctor that would do that, or somebody, somebody we could trust. But that is a great point. And with, like Neil deGrasse Tyson said earlier, with all 6 billion cameras that are around the world, nobody's capturing an alien. Nobody's getting any abductions. Nobody's getting anything. Exactly. What if it's not? Look, we all know there's something going on, right? And you've heard Lou say it, Elizondo. We don't know what it is. We just know that it is. And it's not from outer space. It's possibly from inner space or somewhere else. Sapphire, what do you think about that? Where do you think we're going with all this? What's next in the whistleblower narrative?
I just completely forgot my train of thought when I had my hand up a second ago.
Oh,
what
no.
Were you just saying? Someone mentioned me in chat, so I just typed for a second, and then you brought my name up. What were you just saying before that?
I don't.
What was Oh, yeah, the evidence with the metal implants. And this is what gets me, because I follow a lot of pop culture nerdy stuff, not just the UFO stuff. And it's like you're saying, when one thing seems cool in one person's fantastic encounter, all of a sudden there's a bunch of people coming out of the woodwork and it's big for 10 years. And then the story shifts and something else is big. You know, like, yeah. And I don't know, it's like how they say ghost hunters always hear get out. That was only popular after Amityville Horror, the movie, came out. And I wonder that about grey aliens. Why did they all of a sudden turn that colour when everyone else saw them,
Well, Communion. Whitley Strieber's movie changed everything.
That's the one. And there's the book.
And Close Encounters.
Yeah.
First Close Encounters. That did it for me. I was like hooked. I was 8, 9 years old. And then after that, Whitley Strieber's Communion. And then Travis Walton's, Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky, yeah. I've spoken to him. And I reckon something happened. I believe he's... Sorry.
So we see the progression in Hollywood. And that mirrors of course, real stories from people who are actually abducted. I don't think the government can get into abductions unless they're talking about military abductions. So they'll never talk about it. That sucks. That office that they got, Arrow, because they said they are going to talk to the civilians too, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. And Sheila Aliens brought it up earlier. Where can people go? Who do you trust? If you have legitimate evidence, where would you go? Legitimate. If this was an alien piece, who would I go to? I would not go to the government.
No, I wouldn't either.
Where do you go? Who do you trust?
Would you go to another country?
No. No.
Well, you don't want to get stuck in another country either. I tell you, I would make several videos. I would distribute them in packages to the news, probably all of them. I would have them put them in the mailbox, make sure they're delivered. I would do it. I'd wear a mask and everything because there's cameras everywhere. And then I'd wait for the calls. But you can't do that because those people will look at that and they will call the higher ups and they'll say, I got this video from a guy who claims he has alien technology and he gave us a video for it. And every other news agency, do you want to run with this story? What happens at that point? Do I make it? Do I get killed? Do I get silenced? I wonder. I would love to try that someday.
I'd probably
make something up that looks like alien technology and see if I can get on Tucker Carlson. Why not?
You need to join Greer with this quest for the perpetual rubber band machine. He reckons it's making a perpetual motion machine or something.
Right. And you know why? I'll tell you why I should fake it and make believe I have something, because that's the only way you would talk to me, right? That's the only way you would talk to me, Tucker. So I had to lie to you. Just like the government lies to you every day. And all of a sudden now you believe in UFOs because Elizondo said so. Let me tell you something, big guy. And that's how it starts. And that would be it. What's this I see going on in the chat room?
No, fake it till you make it, Richie. And Will had something to say, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just want to chime in a little bit about that, but I kind of lost my train of thought because smoking a little pot. But the thing is, where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Waited too long.
Richard Doty said I don't want to say, last night they were talking about Serpo in Congress yesterday. Anyone? Do they mean Serpico? Or Serpo? What's Serpo?
Never heard of it.
Isn't that where those guys got went to some other planet or something like that? And they were teleporting to other planets.
It sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Secret Journey to Planet Serpo.
Oh yeah, it was a planet. Yeah.
Yeah, a book by Len Kasten. On July 16th, 1965, a massive alien spacecraft from Zeta Reticuli star system landed in a Nevada desert test site north of Las Vegas. Following a plan set in motion by President Kennedy in 1962, the alien visitors known as the Ebens. Oh, this is Linda Moulton, howdy doody, fresh and fruity. Welcome 12 astronauts. Oh, this majestic 12 and shit.
It's Close Encounters.
It is. That's a 10-month journey to their home planet, 39 light years away. Yeah, I remember this now. In November 2005, former and current members of the Defense Intelligence Agency, directed by Kennedy to organize the Serpo exchange program, came forward to reveal the operation, including details from the 3,000-page debriefing of the 7 members of the Serpo team who returned 13 years on the planet. Yow! That's a lot of fun. I like that.
Well, you got to imagine they're going to have some people go in there and say they're whistleblowers and make their way in the door and say some stuff. I mean, not all of it's probably going to be diamonds.
The commanding officer, Len Kasten, he chronicalized this in the book, The Complete Journey. And he reveals how the Ebens presented the U.S. with the Yellow Book, a complete history of the universe recorded holographically, allowing the reader to view actual scenes from prehistory to the present. He explains how the Ebens helped us reverse engineer their anti-gravity up your nose with a rubber hose. Where's the proof? Where's that proof? Just give me a picture.
You know, it's crazy.
There isn't any. I'm sorry. I thought I had something there. But no.
Jacques Vallée is the biggest piece of shit in the field. That guy's a fucking fraud.
He
He
been
is.
in the field since the 60s, right? Am I right?
And he's just like Avi Loeb. Everything's real. Believe.
Jacques
Sorry,
Vallée
Sorry, go ahead.
Jacques Vallée sounds like George Costanza's made-up condom company in frippin' Seinfeld.
Oh, the computer company? Wait, what?
No, made-up condom, his prophylactic company. What was it? Costanza's Art Vandelay or something?
It was latex. He was a latex salesman.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. He was an importer-exporter.
Oh, that's right.
That's
and
right.
you want to be my latex salesman.
Right.
That's how the episode
he was
ended.
trying to get a job. He was trying to. It was the employment office, and he told Jerry's number, and Jerry's number was supposed to be this import-exporter.
Vandelay Extra Industries.
And Art
You got to answer the
Vandelay
phone.
But Art Vandelay comes from the name of the name that he made up because he wants to be an architect.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Art
Oh, yeah.
Vandelay. Right. That's
He
his
always
boss,
wanted
whatever.
to make believe he was an architect.
That's right.
I know Seinfeld probably as good as you, if not worse.
Better.
Still holds up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say my thing with Jacques Vallée is that I was watching a special on him, and he's deemed this expert, and he's been in the field for so long. Why is it in 2023, going on 24, you're irrelevant and no one knows you're relevant, and you're pretty much somewhere in a hut, and you have no evidence or proof, and you've been doing this the longest? You should be the go-to person to get proof and evidence, have a document, something. It's like he's nowhere to be found, and he's deemed this expert that's been in the field for 50 years, and they have nothing to show for it. That's a big red flag for me.
Always, when I first got in this field, Jacques Vallée was thrown at me by every investigator every researcher I met. And when I started looking into him and watching him, the way he speaks and what he's talking and all this other stuff, I'm like, wow, this guy's really freaking trying hard to make us believe in bullshit. There's nothing here. Just because he says it, I'm going to believe it because he's been around for a long time. That's what I don't like about this field. People think because you have, miles under you that you're some credible guy, when you could just be like Jaime Maussan and keep fucking around with everybody's videos.
Oh my God.
He is one of the worst on the planet.
Oh, he was.
He still is.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When he portrayed as one of the scientist guys, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They had J. Allen Hynek was in that too, I think.
I'm not sure I'm following. What about this? And Jaime?
Yeah, J. Allen Hynek. He was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He was one of the scientists.
Yeah, I know.
Off to the side.
Yeah,
but
I saw him smoking a cigar. Yeah.
It's the guy that was fashioned after the French guy in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's the guy they modeled him after.
Jacques Vallée.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
That's a good point. Yeah, and that was a great scene too with the French guy. What's up, Sapphire? Are you waving? Are you Hollywood? You've been quiet.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting everybody else get the 2 cents in tonight.
Oh, wait a minute. That was you just talking?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, because you weren't moving. I thought it was sacred teachings for some reason.
I got this blur motion thing on the camera.
No, but you were completely frozen, and I thought it was. Oh my God, that was creepy. That was weird. That's funny.
I'll back out here and let you guys carry on for a minute. I just thought.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate everything. That was fun. You don't have to leave. All right, you want to go? Are you leaving? Stu, that's right. A pipe, not a cigar. I know. I was wrong. I knew it when I said it. Like, it's like when you see yourself locking your keys in the car and you can't grab it, the door handle fast enough. That's how I said that. All right, that was interesting. We went into Close Encounters speak. But let's get back to what's really happening in ufology. Nothing. Corbell and, not Corbell. Well, yeah, Corbell and Knapp are now being called, get this, disinfo agents. Gee, who started that? I've been trying to get that to go along, and now people are finally picking up on it. Maybe they did it themselves. Maybe somebody caught wind of it and said, you know what? Maybe this guy's right. Why do people believe him and Knapp? Why? Tell me. I'll tell you why real quick. Because Knapp's been around for 40 years. He's got credibility. Anybody else want to add to that? I don't know.
I was going to say, it's like they got the market nailed on that or something, you know?
They do.
Yep.
And you know,
getting all the airtime, they can spin their story.
News Nation is the parent company of KLAS TV, where George Knapp works in Vegas. What the hell is that? When I found that out, because they held on to that alien, 8 to 10 foot alien kid story for 3.5 weeks until Grush came out. And then they put that story out to get it popularized and make everything go viral.
Yeah, that was kind of
shady.
They're right in the middle of everything like that, man. It's like they're trying to throw somebody off or something.
But doesn't that point the arrow right at Knapp and Corbell and say, look at what we're doing? It's like they almost purposely are teasing us, saying, here's what we control the narrative. It's pissing me off. Like, what are the odds that's going to happen in George Knapp's hometown?
Yeah, right underneath their own nose, and they happen to be right there.
And the whole thing's bullshit anyway. It's a fake story.
I got an idea to root these mofos out, Knapp and Corbell. What we're going to do is make up some fake profiles, troll the shit out of Reddit and 4chan so they get pissed off with Knapp and Corbell, like they did with Shia LaBeouf. And in like 5 minutes, we'll find Mel's hole, right? I'm still waiting for Mel's hole. Yeah, like I'm still waiting for that. Yeah, if we can piss off 4chan with Knapp and friggin' Corbell, we'll find Mel's hole in like 5 days, I swear.
Well, Mel's hole, what do you mean? They know where it is. Yeah. That's been found already on Art Bell show. Everybody knew. And then they covered it up on Google Earth with the blurring it out afterwards.
Yeah, well, no, that's not good enough. I want the video. I want to get down Mel's hole. I want an expedition. I want an expedition.
Dude, well, you can't now because the government bought the property for $300,000. They bought it from him, and he had to go buy another house. Yeah,
I'm built like a sparrow. Like I'd go down if you put me on a rope.
Dude, you don't. No, what's that?
Rich, Mel's hole. Can you just like clarify this? I'm not familiar with it, and when I think of Mel's hole, I'm thinking of back in grade like 9, right? Like I always wanted Mel's hole. Sure, everybody freaking grade 9 did, but what's Mel's hole? I don't know. Like
Mel's hole, there's a guy named Mel who called into Art Bell that has a hole in his backyard or in his land where it's been there, he found out, for a very, very long time. The Indians, everybody, they used to throw shit in there, and you could throw something in there and never hear it hit the ground. People threw refrigerators in there. They threw all sorts of stuff, air conditioners, and you never hear it hit the ground. So one day, now the story goes, some guy threw his dead dog into the well, into the hole, and a few days later, the dog was seen running around with the bandana on.
Okay.
Now, so they decided to grab a goat, put it in a cage, and lower it into the hole. So they did all this, and of course, if you guys know the story, when they took, now the goat didn't want to go in. It's screaming and yelling. Nah. As soon as it gets low enough, nothing. They don't hear it. So they bring it up, and the goat's not moving. And all of a sudden, they take the goat out and everything, and it gives birth to a seal with human eyes that started to communicate with people that were around the hole, and Mel happened to be there, and he said this thing looked at me, and I don't know if I don't remember if it said anything, but he said he felt love and all this other stuff, and then it went back into the hole, and they never saw it again.
I was about to say I'd be punting that shit down that fucking hole real quick with my boots on.
Dude,
whoa,
that story's phenomenal. Now, get this. So that turned out the guy literally had the military come over and everything. It's true story. Now, the guy moves, and guess what's on his new property? Another hole. Come on. Well, now I'm wondering, what's going on? 2 holes? What's the odds the guy gets to land with 2 holes like that?
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, like, if we want to root out these stories that are bullshit, yeah, piss off 4chan. Sorry.
Okay.
Mute.
But if you ever get to hear the story, it is really detailed. I mean, it doesn't sound made up at all. It sounds legit, doesn't it?
No,
I think.
Well, it does to the point when he puts the sheep in the hole, and then it gets birthed to this. I don't know, weird whatever. I don't believe in that, but it's hard to believe because something like that, a claim like that, like deGrasse Tyson would say, you need proof, hardcore proof, right?
Yeah.
And to make a claim like that, but the whole thing, though, I think that's pretty cool, right? It could be true.
I think it's true.
I was just using that as a location example. Like, if Knapp and Corbell keep spinning this bullshit, it's like once you get those community sites like 4chan and Reddit onto them, they're screwed, man. Like, they'll root it out, And that's all I meant. I was just using Mel's hole as an old example that never got any real, closure,
Oh, yeah. No, it did get closure, though.
No, I didn't hear that bit, so that was great.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. I just
okay.
remember the original story, Yeah.
Oh, good to know, man. Yeah. Oh, glad I could fill in a little bit of history there.
No pun taken. Mel's hole.
That's right. I didn't even realize it.
It's like, glad I could fill it in for you there. Oh.
Rich, do you feel that
yes,
Corbell and Knapp, do you feel like on Twitter, because sometimes I don't look at it all day long, but not saying that you do either, but
I do not.
Have you noticed them get a little bit of less traction since the aircraft over the base kind of turned out to be bullshit?
I have. Yeah, they're not ripping it up like they used to. I'm going to pull up Weaponized and see what their numbers were, because I thought...
You know what Corbell's going to do? He's going to wear a tighter shirt, and then he's going to get the views.
He is wearing his little brother's T-shirts
That's the
lately.
backup. That's plan Z. You know what I mean? When these things are not coming through, he's going to tighten that shirt up. Let me tell you what.
Him and Lou Elizondo both.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Lou likes those tight shirts too.
Yeah, I'm just saying they get tighter every time.
He's got huge arms.
I'm just saying.
I know. And why? Well, Corbell looks like he still works out somewhat, but Lou Elizondo.
But he's doubling his plan. They're doubling it up now because their stories are not falling through. So they're doubling up the workout. They're really getting those pecs going. Right?
Well, he'd have to. I mean, they sat there and they brought up the Wilson notes again, and he goes, "Well, no, we just know they're real, right? Yeah, we just know they're real. We don't need evidence. So who cares? We know." It's like, geez, guys, come on, like.
That's the steroids kicking in. See, you don't. Yeah, I'm just saying, they're pumping.
He's such a classic LA film guy, though. I mean, he's got that attitude where he's always pitching. You feel like when he talks to you, he's always pitching you something. He's always been there before, knew it all before. He's on the inside. He's such a classic, arrogant film guy like that. He's just a filmmaker, man. I truly don't think. Like, I think he's interested in the topic, but I don't think he cares about it. I think
you're right.
I think Corbell knows what most of us probably don't want to admit, which is this is probably going nowhere, guys. And he figures, I'm just going to go ahead and make the money. It's fun. And then when it goes nowhere, I'll bail out and make something else.
Let me tell you, I am with you 1,000,000%.
What am I putting into it?
Absolutely. I kind of said it. I go, why do all this and give us shit that's not real unless you have a way to get out of it? Because eventually nobody's going to believe what you're saying if you keep doing this and people keep debunking you. So, yeah, you're right. He's not in it for the legitimacy. He's just in it for this, I think. And a little bit of, he cements himself in history. He'll always be paid to speak for forever.
Yeah, it's a long-term plan for him. I mean,
I'm pissed. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It definitely does. But I think he comes from a background where what his parents had a apartment complex or something he was running for a little bit. So I mean, he moved off from that. He's trying to build a career.
He's a
He wants to do
failure.
film.
He was sleeping on whose couch was it? The ufologist guy, the old guy. And he treated him like shit. The guy couldn't wait to kick him out of his fucking house. He has these nightmare stories about Corbell. Corbell's an asshole.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
He is.
extremely
He's an
charismatic.
entitled. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Charismatic. He's great on camera.
Yeah.
But you can't slow him down. He just says, "Oh, we know this," and just waffles on as if it's taken for granted, and no one actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. But he's just a great promoter with the gift of the gab, and is animated on camera with his fucking smelly feet. Oh, sorry, swearing. Australian culture.
All right.
With his smelly feet. He loves his foot pics.
Yeah, his clam digging pants and everything. Yep.
Yeah, and Zach was saying, was
Clam
Mel's
digging.
hole on his new property transitioning into Mel's pole? That was just something Zach said. I thought I had to bring it up. It was
All
hilarious.
right. That's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Corbell,
Whose
he has camera presence, but he had a lot of help coming up through all this. He knew Richard Dolan way back in the day. He's always kind of worked his way through it, though. It's not. I don't think he kind of grounded from the ground up, built his own thing by himself in this field at all. I mean, I think anybody with kind of a little bit of presence and then the contacts he had probably could have done a lot with it.
The couch that Corbell slept on was who's that older guy who saw the SR-71 and took a picture of it? Very popular. Everybody loves him.
Michael
The old
Jackson?
guy?
Or
In ufology.
sorry.
Come on.
Johnson?
No, the guy with the white hair. He just went. Fuck. I can't believe I can't remember his name. I hate
He talks
myself.
about Area 51 a lot, right?
Yeah.
Talks about the planes all the time. I think he was just
Yeah.
on somebody else's show recently too. I know you're.
He
talking
was.
about.
He was on Third Phase of Moon.
Bigelow, was it?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
It's a ufology guy.
What's he look like?
An old man.
Old man, sunglasses, white hair. He's
No
got a book, I
sunglasses.
think. Oh, I thought he had sunglasses. That picture I seen.
Maybe in a picture, but he.
Well,
I
people,
never.
they're not born with sunglasses, but what does he look like? I don't know.
I can't remember him.
He looked like a man.
He looking like a man with a missing in the arm. He was the one-armed man.
I'm pulling it up. I'm trying to find out who it's Jim or something.
Is he on the island with them? Is he with them, like on the same island?
No.
Is that what you're talking about? Oh, okay.
No.
Because I
No,
thought
he
there was
lives
like a
in
guy they go to.
He lives in Arizona. He lives
Jim
in
Goodall.
Jim
Nathan
Who?
said,
Yeah, Jim Goodall. Thank you.
Yeah, Nathan said Stu Gearson guested in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Goodall. Thank God. I would have gone crazy.
Yeah, there we go.
But that's whose
Yeah,
couch
he's
he
out with
stayed.
the Cousin Brothers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff with the Cousin Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's Corbell, man. Corbell, maybe he grew up, we all have a past. I know I do. And this part of my life, I'm not even the same person. So a lot of us change, over time, over a year.
Didn't they invite him on that Tear in the Sky special? What's her name too? Wasn't he?
Oh, yeah,
invited?
Caroline Corey.
Yeah.
What about that? What about it?
Wasn't he invited there to consult on it or something toward the end of the 3 or 4 days or whatever?
Oh, I'm not sure. You might be right about that. I don't remember, though.
Seemed like they had him consult on something for that.
True, and Corbell did use Lear. That's right. Yep. Lear hated him, too.
Yep. I thought I'd stick that in there, too.
See, this is why I don't like the guy, because I don't hate him. I don't know him.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
you remember, I don't know if you guys remember when I called him live on the show a couple of years ago, and he's like, why are you calling me? And he's like, I don't want to talk, because I told him immediately I'm on a live show. I just thought I'd call and say, hey, what's up? And remember that. And he's like, why am I on? What do you mean? And all this. And I go, oh, this is Goof On. It's a UFO show. And he goes, Goof On, huh? He goes, I don't know you. And I'm like, yes, you do. Well, You guys don't remember that? That was amazing. Yeah. And then he stayed on the phone after he's telling me, I don't want to be on the phone for 7.5 minutes. How dare you call me? I'm like, but you have a phone. You know, he treated the Cousins brothers the same way when they called him. Why are you calling me? He says. You email first. You don't call somebody. You're interrupting their day. What a dick.
Yeah, it tells you a lot about a person when they do that stuff, right? So it brings their character, right? Why be a dick about it?
Bitch.
He is a bitch.
Well,
no, he is.
We don't know that. We don't know that. It's hearsay.
I know it because I can see it in the way he gestures.
Bloody precious. Boo boo.
We call them ass hats.
Ass hats. I always like that term. Yeah. Well, we are. Go ahead.
We use a bit more colourful language in Australia, but fair enough.
I want to play this video. I love Australians, by the way. I love the women because you don't have a lot of women and they're all hot, right?
Oh, no, we actually got 3% more women than men. And
I thought it was way more than that.
They're all taller and slimmer than average Western countries. Yes.
I want to play this video.
You know what that tells you, Rich? You know what that tells you, Rich? They want us. They want to share. That they need more men from other countries to come over.
I know.
That's what they're saying. I'm just saying.
But I don't drink, so I can't go.
Pretend. You could pretend.
Oh, you're not going to get down in Australia if you can't have a beer, mate. Oh,
I know. No. That's why I have to fake it. All right. I want to.
Deported.
Let's check this out. This is amazing. This is unbelievable how Planet X became this mythological thing that's out there and we're going to find it. Listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson explain why that's bullshit. And it's very well spoken. I love this.
Planet X?
Yes.
The search for Planet X.
Nibiru.
There were several incarnations of Planet X.
Right.
That was among them. Okay.
That was the most wacky.
I'm talking about 100 years ago, Planet X. Okay.
Yes.
Uranus was moving weirdly. Nobody understood. Maybe there's a planet beyond it whose gravity we have yet to reckon in our equations. Boom. We discover Neptune. Wait a minute. Neptune is moving a little unfamiliarly. And this is odd. Well, we've been down that road before. There must be another planet out there. A Planet X. Let's look for it. So everybody started looking. 1993. A colleague of mine named Miles Standish. He looked at all of the data people were using to say Neptune's orbit was crooked. Then he found out that at one particular observatory, was it the gearbox or the timing mechanism, had just been cleaned or swapped out. He removed those data from his analysis and fitted data to all the other telescopes that he had for the positions of Neptune. When he did that, Planet X evaporated in that instant.
Amazing. It just blows me away that something simple like that explained that away. And ever since then, we've been hearing how Nibiru is out there and every 3,600 years or whatever it is, it's going to come by and wreak havoc and change the poles and the this and that. Anybody? Is it real? Great.
I could buy that. I could buy that. That's the reasoning for it not being there. Yeah.
He's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a smart man. I follow him, Star Talk, on his YouTube channel, and you can really relate to him when he's talking about science. But when it comes to this UFO and all this other stuff, you can't. It's hard to listen to him.
All right,
because he doesn't know. Like you said it before, Rich.
I was just going to say that. You did it. You said it. I was going to say because he doesn't know ufology. Now,
that's right.
But what if we knew science like he knows it? Would we be trashing him then? Is he that stupid that he doesn't even know science as well as he thinks he knows UFOs? That's why I don't like not knowing, because I don't know if he's right or wrong half the time.
He won't talk to Eric Weinstein, I guarantee you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did. He talked about that in this interview on Theories of Everything.
Yep. He's a fuck. Oh, yeah. deGrasse Tyson isn't wrong, but instead of saying, like, look at this thing in a video doing crazy right angles, that's clearly weird, he'll just say, but there's too many cameras out there and not everyone sees it, so that's bullshit. And it's like, come on, man.
Right.
That's just a straw man. That's bad faith.
But he's not wrong either, but...
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's not wrong. He just goes around the fringe of the meat of the argument and picks at the edges and calls it bullshit. But He still won't look at the video of the thing doing right angles and explain it to you. He just says, "Well, there's not enough videos of that one, so whatever."
That's a great point, and I want to play another clip if that's okay. It is good. All right, check this out.
Thing is different. Again, I don't care about pedigree. The pedigree of which institution did the training. I don't care. Because you spend much more time not in such an institution than in an institution. And so the heights to which
evidence with regard to this, we would like more.
Whoops, sorry.
So continue. So you give a list of people, and what are you saying about them?
What I'm saying is that they're saying, hey, we would just like more evidence with regard to this. We would like more funding.
Good.
We would like people to not scorn this subject.
So Avi Loeb created the Galileo project, and he's getting funding, and so he's off and running. So fine, go ahead. So what point are you trying to make? I don't know what point you're trying to make.
I don't think that skepticism is motivated by rationality. I think skepticism is motivated by the fear of seeming foolish, and that skepticism is associated with intellectualism, and conspiracy theories are associated with being unintellectual. So it's a fairly clear-cut case for someone who wants to be seen as intellectual. And there's something like a liberalism of ideas, like, okay, let's test out different hypotheses. Let's hear what else could be the case. Or there's ostensible intellectualism, and I think that the skeptic will choose what appears highbrow most of the time. That's what I think.
That's true.
Because I think they should be encouraging.
But how does that apply to all this? So what are you saying?
I think we're in agreement. We may be using different words. And because it's a charged subject, it sounds like we're arguing, but I don't care. Like, I'll hug you if I was to be there in person. Yeah.
Air hug, yeah.
Yeah, like anyone who's watching may think like, oh, Neil's at Kurt's throat or Kurt's at Neil's throat.
No. No, it's an animated conversation, as any good conversation should be.
Here's something I hear. Yeah, where's the evidence for this? I'm thinking, where's the evidence for string theory? Where's the evidence that space-time is discrete? There's zero evidence that space-time is discrete. There are whole programs of people wanting it so bad to be discrete.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where's the evidence for quantum gravity? Where's the evidence for virtually every single thing that the philosophy department outputs, like we talked about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yet there's millions and millions of churns. Here it's more money. Here's more money. Here's more money. Take decades if you need to. And then when we talk about this subject, like there seems to be something so strange going on, which is correlated, by the way. It's not just a jump. This is another sticking point I just want to make clear. I hear that, hey, it's the jump from, I don't know what it is, to aliens. Maybe it is in the straw man case, like I mentioned, but it's also that...
But it's not straw man if half the people say that. It's not a straw man. It's an actual way people think about what they see. And...
It is. Anyway, I know I didn't mean to go so long. I got lost in it. Anybody want to add to what they were saying, or do we care?
That young fellow was a great speaker, and I'm glad he brought up the straw man straight to Tyson's
Oh, yeah.
face. And all he could do was dismiss it and say, it's not a straw man.
Yeah, Kurt is really good. He's got a great head of hair.
Very articulate.
He's like the good
he's a
UFO
scientist.
Jesus. He's the good UFO Jesus. His word salad is really well spoken.
Yeah,
He's
got
not
nice
even
skin
a...
too.
Huh?
He's got nice skin too.
Great hair. Yeah, great skin. Well, he's young still. Wait until he hits 55. Come on. Look at Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, this guy, I don't know, man.
He got stumped, and I loved it.
He's rolling his eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you see him like just kind of with the hand gesture on his left ear?
I
Like
did. I know. I forgot to
right?
mention
He got
that. Yeah.
stumped. He got
was like
stumped,
this.
and because they're like, "What about the string theory and all this stuff?"
Yes.
And I've been listening into all that stuff, and they have it. They have the evidence now, but they don't. They didn't then. And like he was saying, they're dumping millions and billions and trillions probably of dollars into this for nothingness. And we had no idea until we figured it out. So why couldn't it be dumped into the UFO, all that stuff? Because we would have found out. Right? So that's what you're trying to get a point across with Neil. Like you can't dismiss that with this. Like, they're kind of the same. Right? So, but yeah, they do have that now. Quantum entanglement. It's when two photons can correlate with each other, and it's a string attached to each photon, and how they can one's manipulate and the other one gets manipulated instantly. They're saying that's the string attached, and they have proven that. So, but now not like 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, but
right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I see the point. Yeah, what he's trying to get at. Yeah,
I want to.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
I was going to quickly say I never seen anybody really kind of go at Neil like that, which is good. I guess Kurt doesn't need his affection though, so he can kind of do what he wants to do anyway.
I thought the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get it. But I think part of the argument though is that getting to string theory, there's a lot of breadcrumbs that are provable along the way though. That have hard evidence along the way, and you don't have that in ufology. You have it's mostly stories the whole way, and so I just think that's kind of where it falls at. But I think he's right. The skepticism usually comes from just denial like that. Yeah, I think he's right. This field especially.
I want to play a clip, and this is a good one too because they're going to talk about the limitations of the scientific method in ufology, and what Neil deGrasse Tyson says hits home because I've been saying it forever, but take a listen to this. This is why I'm playing it. I just feel good about myself, but here we go. It's interesting anyway. What's that? Stop that typing. Mute yourself.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, anytime anything's been solved by philosophy, it then moves into another field, and so all that remains are the hard problems in philosophy. And it looks like philosophy hasn't solved anything, but we don't realize that, it started it in this direction, and then they just let it go, and it's no longer a part of philosophy. So that's number one. And number two, the primary reason for saying the hard problem exists is that the neuroscientists can just come up with neural correlates. And it's not clear, how do you get from those correlates to the conscious experience?
Of course.
So even though there's neuroscientists, what I'm saying is that it's spurred work, and the work, there's a whole field that's been developed because, not a whole field, there's a flourish of enthusiasm for a field because of the hard problem of consciousness being explicated by a philosopher.
I agree. It's just not physics. I agree. I'm saying there's good moral philosophy that's come out recently, good thinking, that picks up somewhere some earlier moral philosophers had left off. Plenty of stuff, including the mind. Yes, I got no issues there.
Guys, I don't know how I did that. I must have confused it with something else. That's weird. I don't know where that is, what I thought that was. Let me see if it's up for... Huh? Go ahead.
He kind of just said it right there. He goes, well, yeah, but that's physics. AKA, there's a lot of breadcrumbs of truth to go along the way. Like, yeah, I get what he means. I'm not the biggest Neil fan either, but...
but he's the one who's out there, just like Michio Kaku.
Well, I think something that's really interesting to notice is you watch Neil's face and how he's paying attention. He's paying attention to what's going on. He's not as bombastic. He knows that he's talking to Kurt, and he's got to pay attention because Kurt will catch him if he doesn't.
It looks like
respect.
Yeah, and it looks like he's not paying it, but he really is paying attention.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's in it. He doesn't want to look stupid.
No,
Kurt's a smart guy, but Kurt doesn't know ufology the way I think he should, but he's not a ufologist. He's a scientist. Ufology is just an offset or a side thing for him, really. At least, that's what we see. He doesn't do ufology every day. He does it once in a while.
No, I think he's getting a decent grasp, though, Rich. I mean, he's interviewed a lot of people. It's been a while. It's been a couple years he's been doing that.
Yeah, but it takes...
It's not goof on,
It takes a minimum 5 years to know the ins and outs. If you are a full-time researcher, he's not a full-time UFO researcher. He never held a camera, went outside and videotaped, learned how all this stuff happens. He's not going around talking to people, learning how they lie and all that other stuff. There's a lot of things that he's good at because he's scientific, which is what I like about listening to Kurt and his guests when they come on in ufology. They talk about things we don't talk about here because I'm stupid that way. No, I take care of other stuff. He takes care of the science stuff, obviously.
Yeah,
I wish I was more that way. I do. I really do.
There's this really good interviewer guy I'm trying to think about that talks to a bit of everyone, kind of like Joe Rogan, but he's much more articulate and intelligent and more probing. And he's not a UFO guy. He's like a businessman.
Yes.
He looks like Middle Eastern descent or something.
You might be right. I think you are.
And he's really good at getting to the bottom of any issue. And sometimes people outside the community interviewing people have a really good unbiased take on it. You know, like as soon as deGrasse Tyson's in there, it's just everything shut down, you know?
True. Oh, brother. All right. Well, I think, you know what? We pretty much talked about a lot of things tonight. There's not much more we can say, but I think we can do a show like this once a week. And I think I'm going to do it every Friday, not Thursday or Wednesday. Every Friday, I think I'm going to open it up and we can just talk about the weekly shit that happened, you know? So I think that's what I'm going to start doing, to bring you guys in more often. And I promise you, we'll do it every Friday. So
sounds good.
I appreciate you guys coming on. Hollywood, you've been a very good contributor tonight. Is there anything you want to promote?
Not really. Nope. Just wanted to put my 2 cents in a couple places where I see an opening there.
Thank you.
Nothing major. I haven't heard any breaking news or anything besides what you guys have heard. You probably know more than I do at this point. I try to keep up with it, but it changes daily.
You know, I know a lot about nothing. That's what it is.
Yep,
I know
I'm
a lot
with you
about
there.
nothing. That's what ufology is, a lot about nothing.
Yep.
Thanks for coming out, man. That was fun. I appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate the time there, Rich.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Come on back.
All right. We'll stop
Take care.
by again one of these nights. Have a
I
good
hope
night.
so. Oh, every
see you,
Friday.
Sapphire Puck Elf.
Yeah, see you
Ice
later,
Cream
buddy.
Shots.
Nice to meet you, Hollywood.
Teachings. Will Carr. Take care, guys.
Have a good
Yeah,
night.
you too, man.
Can we hang out backstage after the live stream ends and keep talking crap? Because I'm a bit chatty.
Yeah, you can if you want. I may have to get up and make a visit to El Porcelo. But okay, so do you guys, anybody else want to leave? Ice cream shots? Because, you know, if you want to talk afterwards, we can.
I mean,
But,
you know me, I'm a super dono. It's all love, Rich, you know?
Thank you for
Yeah, I
saying
want
that.
to chit
That was
chat later.
beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, then what I'll do is this. I'll thank you all right now. So thank you. Ice cream shot, sacred teaching, Sapphire. Do you guys want to, Sapphire, you want to promote anything?
I'm on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Sapphire05 on Twitch. Same avatar picture. And I do the odd Lego streams on YouTube and just weird stuff. You know, I'm not yeah.
Okay. And sacred teachings.
Yeah, I mean, you can just check out my YouTube channel. I don't really upload as much. I'm really on like the spiritual topic, spirituality, paranormal, not really, kind of paranormal, but I guess you could check my page if you're into consciousness and stuff like that.
Cool. All right. Well, man, thank you for contributing tonight, and hang tight. Well, you know, I guess we're going to talk a little bit after the show, so just hang tight. Thank you.
Okay.
And Wilka.
Hey, Rich, how's it going?
Oh, good, man. What you been doing tonight? How you doing, man?
I'm right now. You don't want to know. I'm rolling the joint, but no, I've been doing it pretty good. I've been going on actually on Google Earth and
I was joking.
doing some search.
I was joking. We can talk. We got to go. I was saying goodbye. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, it's Conundrum on TikTok, Twitter, or YouTube. So yeah,
Conundrum. Okay. Cool. Well, hang tight. I'm going to throw you into the room. And Ice Cream Shots, thank you very much for hanging out. Anything you want to promote before you get the health out of here?
No, not as of yet. Like I said, maybe later on in nearing the end of the year. I got some stuff I'm working on that's it's taking priority right now.
No dots.
No dots. Well, I was gonna send you a list of polka dots, a big picture of that. I was gonna make a little joke. Send here's that.
That would be amazing. Nobody's done that yet. Thank you for now. I'm going to get all polka dot emails. All right, hang tight. Oh, Thank you very much for hanging out.
Absolutely,
great input.
Brother.
Very good input tonight. All right. So while everybody's hanging out for the after party show with me, I don't know what we're going to do, but thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we'll be doing this every Friday for a while until it gets old or things happen. Maybe we'll do it a few more times a week. Who knows? But that's what I wanted to do. I want to start this get the public who, I don't care, just come on over, speak your mind, get the hell out. And then next week, come on back. We'll talk about it again. And hopefully we can make a little bit of noise, make some new friends, and, just start the next phase. Because the next phase is starting for now, for ufology. This is it. The next 6 months are going to determine the next 5 years. I promise you. Why? Because of the hearings that are coming up, I want to see how they go about it. I want to see what these new whistleblowers are going to say, if anything. And of course, more Corbell and Knapp and But all right, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. new time. Don't forget, tomorrow's Friday. And new time at 8. So thanks everybody for hanging out tonight on Goof On. This was the panel show. That's what we're going to call it. The panel show. No more round table. Oh, going on a round table. Everybody says that. This is a panel show. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. And have a great night. Be safe, be kind, alien blessed.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul. What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.